settle, listen. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the hit show, the hit series here on YouTube I like to call It Don't Look That Bad. This is where we bake things without a recipe. We just go in the kitchen and we do our best. That's, yeah. Sometimes we don't even do our best. Sometimes we just give up halfway through. We just start throwing stuff in a pot, throw that pot in a pan, throw that pan in the oven. Hopefully we turned it on, and then we hope for the best. On today's episode of It Don't Look That Bad, we are going to try and make a cobbler. A cobbler. Not a recipe. It's a peach blueberry cobbler. 2 fruits, 1 cobbler. How will it be done? We're gonna find out. 6 ingredients, apparently, supposedly. I just get to bake, and I do it with lifelines. But you guys already know about the lifelines because you've been here before. So there's that. Actually, if you haven't seen the show before, you're new, that's totally fine. Listen, when I was talking about lifelines, these are the lifelines, in case you didn't know. 1, I could call a friend, a local business, could call my mom, a therapist, my dentist, could call the wrong number, and I could ask them for advice if they know anything about baking. I could also do a 30-second Google search of whatever I want. Doesn't even have to be related to the recipe. It could be about pan sizes and the best lotion for your elbows. I don't know. And then the last one is that I can also look at just the ingredients for the recipe or just the measurements. So like peaches, cobbler, butter, salt, whatever. Or I could just look at the amounts. I need a stick of that, pinch of that, the butt end of a loaf. So those are the lifelines in case you didn't know. Now you know. All right, and with that, let's get started. First of all, cobblers. I don't know why it's called a cobbler. I know people bake pies. I've seen people bake pies. I don't know anybody really going that extra mile to make it a cobbler. Let's use one of our lifelines now. Why do I have a timer on my phone going? 6 minutes and 27 seconds, countdown to something. Maybe till the first ingredient hits the bowl, probably. Let's throw one of our lifelines up. We're gonna do a 30-second Google search. What is the difference between a pie and a cobbler? The biggest difference between a pie and a cobbler is the placement of the dough. Well, hopefully in the pan. Pie have a bottom crust with the fruit placed on top, while a cobbler has the fruit on the bottom and a dolloped dough on top instead. Some pies have dough on top. They do like the crisscross applesauce with the ba-ba-ba-ba and a ba-ba. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so cobbler, that could help us. Cobbler has dough on bottom and top. So cobbler is like a sandwich. 2 dough-like things holding something together. You know? Or. Sounds like a seal. Or. Cobbler. Cobbler kind of sounds like it's like a fruit casserole. Cobbler is a fruit casserole? I'm not upset by that, okay? Also, if you want to call it a cobbler, sounds like something that your aunt would make for the Thanksgiving meal because everything needs to be themed. She's like, oh, here we go. We just had 9 courses of mashed potatoes, but here I've got the cobbler. And you're like, what flavor is that? She's like, somehow I made a turkey-flavored cobbler. Oh my gosh, I hope the dough on the top and bottom is very thick so we don't have to taste the turkey. I actually have to leave. I have to work tomorrow, and I gotta work on the Friday after Thanksgiving. Oh, I hate my job, but I love it sometimes. Gotta go, Aunt Susan. Throw that in a Tupperware container, throw that Tupperware container in the trash, and I'll see you next year. She's like, what about Christmas? I'm making reindeer poop cookies. And I'm like, if that's what I think it is, I'm not gonna be here. People should make cobblers more because they're fun to say. I would love to walk into a party and be like, I've got the cobbler. The cobbler. Pie is so boring. Oh, I got this pie. It's 1 syllable. Pie. I've got the cobbler. You do a little dance with it? Cobbler. 6 ingredients, that's it. How is that even probably? It's definitely peach, blueberries, sugar, and we gotta make a dough. That can't be it. It's sets of dough. So it's the same mix of a dough. I just saved some of it for the top. Awesome. There's gotta be sugar. We gotta make the syrup somehow. Not just fruit shoved in between, in front, you know, it has to caramelize, crystallize. Hydromatic, automatic, grease lightning, boom, boom, I'm phoning up the 405, grease lightning, oh, grease lightning. The loudest part of these videos is always the bowls. My voice is loud, the bowls are loud, and the recipe is silent. Made me want a cobbler real bad. I don't see any blueberries in here, and I asked my mom today, when you can't get a good look at the fridge, you gotta take a step back, but if your arms aren't long enough, you just gotta kick it open with your foot. I see twisted teas in the back. I can go for a drink right now. It's noon. Peach. Oh my God, this is the fattest can of peaches I've ever seen. We don't usually keep nearly 2 pounds of peaches on hand, so I guess I'm using these today. Del Monte Quality Light Sliced Peaches. Peaches and extra light syrup. We're gonna need the syrup. We're using frozen blueberries. The syrup. Yes! Yes! I love when things are just sitting out in front. Blueberries, when you say it really fast and like with a little bit of like oomph, sounds like you're sneezing. Blueberries! I just spit everywhere. Blueberries! Blackberries? Okay. Does it matter that these are canned or these are frozen? I'm assuming, oh my God, we could use a can opener. Have we ever used a can opener on the show? Ah! Hello? Yeah. hear this sound? Someone's either opening up a can of peaches or a can of whoop ass. Oh my God. Run for the hills, Jimmy. This is a right-handed can opener, I love to point out. We don't have any left-hand appliances in this house. Oh! Makes me want a cobbler real bad. I like pears better than peaches, personally. They give me the same vibes. Can you imagine a hit chef on their show describing peaches as giving off a great vibe? The juice smells so similar, but peach has that extra punch. Punch of the peach. The peach punch. The peach punch peach. It's like, have we made that joke before? I'm just trying to think if we need all the juice. This is nearly 2 pounds. Our cobbler's gonna be 2 pounds. We need a cobbler pan. Can you put a... I feel like the primary flavor is peach, and then we'll just sprinkle in the blueberries because these are easily sealable. I thought this said respect for smoothies. Smoothies? Smoothies. It says perfect for smoothies. Unsweetened. Wait, this has got light syrup and these are unsweetened blueberry. Well, how would you sweeten a blueberry if you're just picking them and throwing them in the bag? We're gonna need sugar. Zoom in on the peaches. Zoom in on the peaches. That's like the primary flavor of those like cocktail cups you get. It's the peach flavor. Okay, that's a lot of peaches. I think we should siphon some of the juice out in case we don't need it. It's gonna be hard to separate later. Could I be using an instrument to do that? Yes. Am I gonna use my hand? Yes. That's at least a little, oh, okay. That's at least a little less. What are we gonna bake a cobbler at? We have never been in cobbler territory. We never even made a pie. Have we done any major fruit recipes like this? Let's just bake it 350. I always feel like I'm always getting yelled at for the tap, so. Serving size, 1/2 cup, servings per container, 7. So there's 3.5 cups of peaches. 3.5 cups of peaches minus some of the juice. Wow, look at the blueberries in there. These should probably not be frozen, but whatever. We're gonna use, oh no, we made the cranberry crumble bars. And that was a crust. It just came back. It's all coming back. I think I'm wearing this vest in the cranberry crumble bars as well. That's like 1.5 cups of blueberries. Whoa, it's already staining my hands. I'm gonna hide the blueberries under the juice of the peaches to get them to warm up. That makes sense to me. This is where the title of the show comes in. It don't look that bad. The syrup is already a heavy purple. Wow, it's such a pretty purple. Holy crap. Oh, it's such a pretty purple. See, if we would have if we would have tried to separate out the juice after, we wouldn't get that color back. Here, let me just put like a dollop. Whoa, now we're doing the science experiment. Put that aside for a second. Look at that. Look at the way that just plopped in there, but didn't mix. Ooh. This is this portion of the show, the arts and crafts portion. Can you see me in the spoon? Can you see me in the spoon? Hi. Arts and cracks section? I'm cracking. My vocal cords are cracking. My vocabulary is cracking. I'm forgetting all the words. Sugar for sure. Why does this smell bad? I think like someone spilled something on the bottom of the oven and it stinks. Stinkerooskies. Who wouldn't be at work today? Who could answer a phone? Maybe Steven. I know Steven's at work, but look at this big sugar cube. Yay, put that back in there. Cup of sugar. Yay! Okay. Well, you know who my mom is with right now is my grandma, and she knows how to bake. Ooh, look at the colors on that. It's the prettiest thing we've ever made. The syrup is the dark purple, and you got this nice lavender. Hold on, let me just. Hold on, I just gotta go over here for a second. That's amazing. Gee, I can't believe we're even. Sorry, back. Can't believe we're even doing that. I honestly feel like the last 3 ingredients are gonna be dough-based ingredients. Is the filling really just this, and sugar? I don't know. I don't know if it could be that simple. But I can see kind of through this piece of paper, the recipes in here. There's so much writing. Maybe this is the instructions part. I'm thinking the last parts are gonna be the dough, so it's probably gonna be flour. Who's calling in right now? It better be the muffin man. Hello? It's like flour, baking soda or powder. You figured out. That's not helpful. Oh, wait, the muffins are burning. My muffins are burning. Hangs up. I'm like, hello? I should have picked up the phone, whoever that was, and been like, first of all, I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna need help with the cobbler. They're like, what? I'm like, the cobbler? They're like, oh my God, Thanksgiving dessert back in 09. I'm like, it's gonna be thin. It can't just be dry ingredients because then it won't mix. It's gotta be flour, and it's gotta be a liquid. I want to say water. Y'all know I want to put water in it. All right, I'm thinking I'm just going to call, since it's in the middle of the day, and I know where my grandma is. She's with my mom. I might as well just call my grandma. Hi.
Hi.
How's the road trip?
It's good. We're getting there.
Can you put grandma on the phone? I need help with a cobbler.
She's here.
Hi. Do you know what any of the ingredients would be in a cobbler? I got peaches, blueberry, and sugar. Cornstarch, yeah, cornstarch or flour to thicken it.
Or flour. Yeah. The other thing is tapioca.
Or tapioca. That's like in the filling though. How do I make the crust?
There is no chicken and cobblers. They
8 by 8. I don't know yet. Wait, is there no crust?
Starch. It comes from flour.
Okay.
Flour. Crisco.
Okay, that helps.
Add milk according to this recipe. And I would also have baking powder.
A few moments later.
Okay, I'll figure it out. That helps. That sends me in the right direction because I'm stuck. Thank you.
Bye.
What? Okay, so basically, while I pace, it's my grandma and her friend in the car, and my mom's driving them somewhere. I think one of them had a recipe pulled up because they were reading it off. I could barely hear it. It sounded like they were yelling at me underwater through a tube. Flour, Crisco, and then I'm gonna make it until it's crumbly, and then maybe add milk. First it was water, but then it was milk if it needs it. And then her friend who had the recipe pulled up said using butter instead of Crisco and baking powder. That's gonna be a tough one. I don't know. There's definitely a crust. I don't know what she's talking about. Cornstarch. There we go. That's sitting out in front. What did they say? Baking powder. I don't think we have Crisco, so we're gonna have to go butter. 2 cups of flour to half a cup of butter. And then she changed it to 1. 1 cup flour, half a cup of butter. See, that's why I only let myself have 1 phone call, because if you start calling too many people, you really get confused. That was 3 different opinions. It's half a cup, or that's quarter, and that's a cup. These are rounded scoops, people. And then I need half a stick of butter, and I cannot remember half a stick. 16 tablespoons is a cup. So I need 8 tablespoons of butter, and this is 8 tablespoons. Should I melt the butter? Jeez, Mike. A little bit of baking powder. What does cornstarch do? Thicken sauces and gravies, great for baking. Oh, I think she said this needs cornstarch, our little syrup thing. It could be thickened up. It's sickening how much of this thickening we're gonna need. I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of cornstarch just to, I don't know, see what happens. It's just kind of like sticking to itself. Some of it dissolved, some of it's trying to hang on in little like clumps. Okay, this is just butter and flour. Could that make a crust? Why would my mom say it's not it did not a crust? I literally Googled that it has dough. A dough is a crust is a crust is a dough. Dough is a crust is a crust is a dough. It's so hot in here. Then a little bit of baking soda was suggested. 1 teaspoon baking powder. Crusts and crumbles and doughs are really not my thing. I don't understand. Like I can't, looking at a dough that's already formed, I cannot dissect and be like, I wonder what went into that. I can clearly tell it's some flat. No. Dude, this is kind of frothy. Did it thicken up? I mean, this is crumbly and it's kind of holding together. I don't think it's nearly enough crust for what we're doing. And then I was suggested to me a little bit of milk. We're gonna call this I'm guessing amount of milk. I'm guessing this might be an episode where we use all of our lifelines. We might use every single one of our lifelines because we want to give this recipe a chance. I think we should look at the amounts. The amounts, I know what type of crust we're working with. What side is this is the directions. No, I need, yeah, okay. 4 cups of something. 1 cup of something. 3/4. Wait, I'm seeing the picture is crumble on top. It's a very crumble. The top is a crumble. Wait. Is that what my mom meant? There's no crust, but there's a crumble on top? It looks crumbly in this picture. I'll put in a picture of the picture I'm looking at. Also, I like how messy and real theirs looks. It doesn't look like it's some fancy schmancy. Look at all the blueberries up on the side. We're making a crumbly, loose, frothy gobbler. Sounds good to me. Did I already do it? Okay, let's try and find like a nice pan, a nice non-metal. I don't know where we keep those. Wait! You can't get access to the drawers down here on either side. Who knows why? I think I see, wow, look, there's a pan back here. Look at that. I think I need a little bit bigger. This one's too shallow. 2 liters. Someone in one of the other episodes said that usually if there's a pan, it says like on the handles or like on the, I don't know, the sides, how big the pans are. And this does. It says it's 2 liters, which doesn't help me at all. 2 liters of baking? I don't know what that is. Okay, if there's no bottom crust, we're just gonna pour this. Oh my gosh. Enough to cover it. Okay, this could be saved for another gobbler. This is the prettiest mixture. I don't even care what it tastes like. It's so pretty. We never made something so pretty. And then do you think I bake it a little bit? And then do you think I put the crusty crust on top? Because how else is this gonna... Or maybe we just literally crumble this on top like this. This doesn't feel right. How's this gonna bake together on top? Hers has a pretty even crust, so we gotta cover the whole top. These peaches are clumping up. Move over, Peaches. Sounds like I'm talking to a dog. Move over, Miss Peaches! We didn't put any vanilla in this recipe. Usually every recipe we've done calls for vanilla. Again, if this is one of those things that is like so easy to make and just no one's making them that I know of in my vicinity, I might become the cobbler lady. The queen of cobbler. Put that in the oven. Yikes. Bake it at 350 for, let's start her off at 3 hours and 50 minutes. 15 minutes, not 3 hours. And that has room to grow a little bit because we put the baking powder, which puffs, powder puffs. So we gave it room to puff. Me at an elite baking school, we're gonna wanna leave room to puff. You wanna get puffed up when you're baking because you're angry because the things aren't, cooking out the best way possible, but you also want to give your baking powder room to puff. Do we think a cobbler, like the shoemaker, his favorite food is a cobbler? Christina's a cobbler. She got the gift of gab. She's got a gobbler. She's a cobbler. She likes gobbler. She makes gobbler. A cobbler. As a side note to the video, why is it called a cobbler? Why are crumbles so often mistaken referred to as cobblers? Did we just make a crumble? Oh my goodness. The origin of the name, recorded from 1859, is uncertain. Okay. It may be related to the archaic word cobbler, meaning wooden bowl, or the term may be due to the topping having the visual appearance of a cobbled stone pathway. Oh, I like that. I like that. That's fun. That's a little history fun fact that I would enjoy telling people. Is because it looks like a cobblestone crust. And what do you walk on cobblestone paths with? Your shoes. Made from the cobbler on your way to the bakery to get some cobbler. Now that's a tale as old as time. Literally. What did I say? 1859? 59? 50 something in there? It don't matter. It's old as shit. A tale as old as time. Cobblers and the streets. Is it considered a cobbler if there's no crust to bother? The fruit inside the casserole. I wish we could sing about everything we're confused about in life. I'm working late. I'm doing my taxes. I don't have a clue what I owe the government. They tried to screw me and give me fines, but they don't know. I don't have a dime. I've been buying all the coffees. I don't have copies of the receipts. I get it. Make sure you keep your receipts for tax purposes. People always be throwing away copies of receipts. Ask my tax person, my accountant. I have an accountant. Okay, spend 15 minutes. I haven't even looked at. Why? It's not baking. Why does it look like that? It looks like how it looked when I put it in there. How come it's not baking? Is it not hot enough? I've never had this problem. How? Why? Like it looks the same. It looks raw. The dough looks raw. I'm gonna have to crank it up. We're gonna crank it up to 380. We're gonna go another 15, I guess. Okay, now the room smells buttery, bakery, peachy. Oh my! Why? The blueberries are bubbling up around it, but the crust still looks raw. It's still so light. I mean, no, it has a little bit of a crust-like texture. It's just not brown. It's not browning like this. It's very light. Okay, it's bubbling up though. Should I just give it like another, is 10 too long? All right, it's been baking about 40-ish minutes. It's bubbling up. Good thing we left room for it to puff up, for it to bubble. It's coming out the sides. Did we lose part of the crust? It don't look that bad, really. And it's really pretty. It's such a pretty purple. Oh my God. This is not mush and gush. Look at the dang colors. Ooh. And I guess the crust did brown up a little bit. It feels like crust-like. All right, I'm gonna let it sit. As we look at the recipe now, 4 cups of sliced peaches with juice. How much juice? I guess we don't know or don't care. 1 cup of frozen blueberries, 3/4 cup of flour, 1/2 cup of white sugar. I put a whole cup in, so it'll be kind of sweet. 1/2 cup of butter, which we did. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Baking powder! We just added cornstarch. I think that's the only thing we added to it. Okay, preheat the oven. So they were right about the crust. Baking powder, butter. They wanted me to, I added a little bit of milk. Okay, so a crust is easy. That's a crumble, or is that a crust? Preheat the oven to 400 degrees. 400? How long? Bake 45 minutes to an hour? We baked at 40 and at 380. Should I throw it back in? Whisk flour, sugar, and baking powder in a large bowl until combined. Cut in butter with 2 knives. or a pastry blender until mixture resembles coarse crumbs. Oh, and I melted the butter. That's why, oh, so I made it into a solid dough and I had to re-crumble it. Filling will thicken as it cools. That's why I wasn't baking. You have supposed to leave it 45 to an hour, and it's supposed to be hotter. If you're baking a cobbler, you bake it hotter and longer. Hotter, longer cobbler. I don't know what I read before about the pie versus cobbler, but I looked at it again. There's no way my mom found the one cobbler recipe that's not really a cobbler because of the dough. No, hold on. A cobbler is a baked fruit dessert without a bottom crust. Without a bottom crust. And the top crust is kind of a biscuit dough instead of a traditional pastry or pie dough. And then a pie has at least the bottom crust, sometimes the top. So they're like complete opposites. So like we're right. We're right. This is a cobbler. It's not a pie by definition and by the type of crust that we made. Okay, it's kind of holding shape. Wow, okay. I also like how a cobbler doesn't look perfect. It looks like someone's already been rooting around and digging in this cobbler, right? I kind of like that. Just like cobblestone pathways, got, chewed up gum and cigarette butts and a chip here and a chip there and some spilled paint. This cobbler looks like someone's been rooting around, pushing the crust, pushing it around, doing this. It kind of looks like you were like doing one of these, you were like walking, tripped on a cobblestone, and then your cobbler got moved. All right, let's try it. Here's a little bit of blueberries, crust, and there's a peach in there. I can see it from here. Now wait it down. That's very good. This is pretty sweet because I think I put like twice as much sugar, but it's not an overwhelming amount of sugar. It just tastes like more on the sweeter side, but it's good. It's a little syrupy and soupy because I can see all of it pooling right here. This would taste really good with like some vanilla ice cream. Listen, if I knew cobblers were this easy and not that hard to mess up, we would have been making cobblers a long time ago. If you've never made a cobbler, you should try it. And you can use so many types of fruits. It is a complete success. This is really good. It only took me a couple of Google searches, a quick peek at the measurements, and 3 ladies in a car on speakerphone to make the ultimate cobbler. It's not about the end result, it's about the journey. It's the club. This is a cobbler, and I would eat this at Thanksgiving, and maybe your aunt is onto something. That's all I'm saying. Check on your aunt, okay? They're probably just sitting at their house making cobblers. Have you ever seen me do this to the plate? Me trying to get all the little bits. You ever seen me do that with one of these episodes? No. It's a cobbler. It's a cobbler. Oh, I like it. I'm over here making cobblers, bro. A couple of months ago, I didn't even know if we owned baking powder. Hello, this is great. You better like and subscribe just for that. Comment down below if you ever had a cobbler, if you think about a cobbler, if you're going to bring cobbler to a next family gathering. What am I going to give that out of a 10? Maybe a and that's pretty good. I can almost see it. That thing I'm baking, but doesn't matter how fast I get there. It just matters what's waiting on the other side.